Hey guys, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the super coach, and my beautiful wife,
Hello.
Natalie Burt. And today on Living with a Monster, we're going to unpack this concept of it doesn't come in a box. You know, every week or every 2 weeks we bring you this show because we fully understand that it's tough trying to make a marriage work, trying to raise a little monster, trying to help build monster producers out there in the world. We get it. We get it that it's hard. We get it that it's tough. We get that you need some encouragement. And sometimes you just need I almost said a kick in the you-know-what. Sometimes you both need a good kick in the hind end, right? So today we're going to talk about it. It don't come in a box, but let's go back, sweetheart.
Yeah, let's recap just a little bit about what we've talked about already.
Because I'm going to tell you something about my wife she's a high C on a disc profile, which means everything is structured and logical. And many times it does come in a box to her. And I'm the exact opposite of that. So last night when we're preparing the show, she's like, hey, why don't we go back and review some of the past shows? So talk to them about what we covered in scene number 1, episode 1, episode 2. And then today we're going to talk about the difference between living an ordinary life and an extraordinary life.
Okay, so in the first show, we talked about how not to take things personal. With understanding the monster vision, how you build up versus tear down your monster, how you can become open-minded versus closed-minded. And then in the second show, we talked about having unpartnered growth, where one of you is growing, where the other one is stagnant, and how monster versus turtle, and how you could close that gap by including your partner's talents in your vision.
Now, I'm noticing that first show where it says don't take it personal, right? And I know I'm getting off script, but it seems like yesterday that you and I were involved in something.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
It seems like that you and I were doing something yesterday, and you did take it personal, right?
I don't see it that way.
Well, listen, here's the deal, because in the very first show, guys, we talked about how not to take it personal because it's very tough when you're married to a monster producer, is that many times they're so focused and they're so in their own mind that they don't have time. They're just moving fast. And it's very easy for you to take it personal, like, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Yesterday, Natalie was creating an email to go out to the Seaside group because we're going to Seaside next week. She spent 2 hours on the email because that's her little high C personality. She's working on it. She's planning every meal for Seaside. And she wants to send this out to the monsters, right? And I get a hold of this email, and I'm like, you know what? I need to just tweak this email just a little bit. Just add a little bit of breadth and depth to it. Just do that, right? And then my wife violated show number 1. She took it personal. And so she comes out to my office, all in a hot and bothered, yelling at me. Not really, because you don't ever yell. But you did get your feelings hurt. And I tell people, don't ever let your feelings drive the discussion. Because to me, I was just taking her email and making it a little bit better. But the first show was about don't take it personal.
Well, what really happened yesterday is I wanted him to coach me through how to do this. Instead of tweaking it, I wanted him to help me learn how to do it myself instead of just doing it for me. So.
Yeah, I get it. But when you're married to a monster, here's what monsters do.
Anyway.
They just take it and go. First show, don't take it personal. Second show, what do you do in unpartnered growth? You can see all these shows, Jack, on our YouTube channel, right? Search Coach Michael Burt on the YouTube channel. Now, today, we're talking about this concept of ordinary versus extraordinary, but here's the title of the show, It Don't Come in a Box.
Well, and I think we're so used to everything coming in a box. I mean, I love me some Amazon Prime. I mean, I can get on there and everything just shows up at my front door. And, I mean, you can even order a spouse these days. Do you know what I'm saying?
Really?
You can.
It costs a whole lot of money to get somebody like me, babe. Dang, Scott Lumley, how much money you got, brother? Could you order me Shane, Ray, Carrie Ann Sear?
So my point
how much would Coach Burt cost?
Is everything, we're so used to everything coming in a box, but having an extraordinary life is not something that you can order or that's going to show up in a box. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, because, Natalie and I were talking last night, and she asked me, she said, do you ever remember living an ordinary life? And my first response was, no, I don't, because I was coaching at 18 years old. That's not ordinary. That's non-ordinary. Jack, wouldn't you agree? I mean, I had a full-time job coaching at 18. I was a head coach at Riverdale at 22. I was writing books at 25. I don't think I ever remembered living an ordinary life because I wasn't interested in ordinary. But then she said, well, go back.
Let's go all the way back to when you were little.
Go back to when I was a little bitty Coach Burt. And me, it was me and my mama. And I know Mama's probably on here watching, living in a little one-bedroom house and staying at Best Westerns and going to Gatlinburg on vacation and growing up in a little one-horse town. And, you know, so what, was it an ordinary life then? I don't know. I think probably for much of my life it was ordinary. And then I made a decision to bam, go. And then it ain't ordinary anymore. And here's what I said. I don't want to live in an ordinary house. I don't want to drive an ordinary car. I don't want to go to ordinary vacations. I don't want to hang around ordinary people. I want to live an extraordinary life. And you were talking about your life because I grew up watching Mama work hard, 2 jobs, bust her hind end for everything that we had, you know, playing at the local ball field. That's how I grew up. But I always had this seed, and I was talking last night, is that my mom always affirmed in me that I was going to do big things in the world. That I was always going to be somebody special. And I'm trying to do that with Ella Grace. We're trying to do that with our daughter. You can have big impact on the world. You grew up, would you say it was an ordinary life in West Tennessee?
Yeah, I mean, same type thing. I mean, I always had those affirmations from my mom that she knew I was going to do great things. Mm-hmm. But yes, I mean, for the most part, I would say it was just ordinary. I mean,
you grew up West Tennessee, right? Horses and tractor pulls. Does that sound right? Milan, Tennessee football games, but we all did. But at some point, we made this decision to go live an extraordinary life. Now, here's the problem. Let's go back to our second show. A lot of times, when one person makes a decision, like I woke up focused, ambitious today. When one person wakes up and they're ready to go, the other person is like, "No, man, I want to lay on the couch and watch TV and eat bonbons and do nothing." And one person's like, no, we're going all the way, right? That's when there's some friction between the two. Yeah. And both people have got to want the same things at the same time, and that's a very, very tough thing. So today, guys, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this concept of extraordinary versus ordinary. Are you living an ordinary life together? Are you challenging each other? You know, Natalie challenges me to be a better father. She challenges me to be a better husband. I challenge her to think bigger in her business, to push, to grow, to expand. And so last night when she was asking me, am I going to teach her how to do this? I said, I did just teach you how to do it. If you're watching what I'm doing, you're going to learn and pick up a few things, right, sweetheart? Go back to...
Maybe.
Right, and here's the last thing I'll say in this segment. She had a shirt on that said, what was the shirt say?
No plans, no problem. But that was not...
I'm like, read your shirt, girl, because that ain't... Read your shirt that you got on. Okay?
That's like physical plans.
Come on back to segment number 2, guys. We're going to talk about monster thinking, how to really go much bigger, and how monster moves quickly, and how does the wife respond to that or the husband respond to it. You're watching Living with the Monster, and I'm Coach Michael Burt, and this is Natalie Burt. Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt. Man, do I have an opportunity for you. I know many people that follow me also follow 10X entrepreneur Grant Cardone. He's been a huge influence in my life. So I have partnered with Grant to bring you a 10X Growth Con ticket, Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay, 3 days with some of the biggest speakers in the world, February 22nd through the 25th. And the deal I'm offering you gives you one great ticket to 10X with 50 other like-minded people, a private event in Las Vegas, and I'm giving you person of interest, a full day of me teaching you person of interest, one of my biggest concepts, how to blow your brand up, how to attract hundreds and thousands of leads to you. And not only that, I'm going to give you a day on the Mercedes Sprinter with me, talking strategy, intimate with me and my team, helping you build your business, and that deal is only $2,500. Take advantage today by emailing info@coachburt.com. Come with me to Las Vegas, get person of interest, get on the Sprinter with me and the team, and let's help you blow your business up. Hey guys, welcome back. Brand new show, Living with the Monster. My wife, Natalie Burt, and I. Every week we come to you, every other week we come to you to help you because we realize it's tough. One person is focused and driven. Maybe both of you are focused and driven. And so this show is really kind of geared to getting your think right, getting you in partnered growth, teaching you some principles that we use, how not to take it personal. Today we're talking about success don't come in a box with a bow. It ain't Amazon Prime. You can't buy your husband on Amazon Prime that comes all perfect up. Maybe you can. I don't know how much it would cost. But here's my point. Carrie Ann Sear, Lily Munoz, Ginger Stieg, all the people that are watching us out there, You know, one of the things we're talking about today is we made a decision we want to live an extraordinary life. And when that happens, we're going to try to push and go to places. Other people are going to be resisting and pulling back. But one of the things that is we made a decision to build a greatness factory, and it's about a $1.68, $2 million greatness factory. And many times I've had reservation about building this. This is a big expense. This is a big project. And every time I've had reservation and I've contracted, which is what people do, by the way, when they get scared. They contract and they retreat. Natalie has always been right there, and she's always said the same thing to me, which is what?
Stay true to your vision. There was so many places that we looked at instead of building. You know, you couldn't have a sign here, you couldn't do this here, and my answer was always the same thing. What does the greatness factory look like in your mind? And we are not going to veer from that. It doesn't matter what we have to do or how long it takes. We're going to do exactly what you see in your mind because it's there for a reason.
Yeah, and if you study the Bible, that vision came from God. You know, the young man will have dreams, and the young man will have visions, the old man will have dreams. Well, I had a vision of a greatness factory. And here's my concept, is that I feel like that's a direct vision from God. You're supposed to build greatness factories. Well, how does that affect our life? Well, it affects our life because there's things that we can't do. You know, if Natalie wants a house in Seaside that we can rent, that she can run, which she does, or we want this or we want that, well, we can't do those things. She can't have those things at the same time that I'm building a $2 million greatness factory. So there's a sacrifice here that has to be made, and she could have very easily said it's going to be too expensive. She said, no, don't do it. She could have been selfish, but she's never done that because she knows that part of our bigger vision together is building these greatness factories, right, not just here, but all over the country. I do have to give a shout out before we move on to one of our big sponsors of the show, the Big Kahuna.
Yes.
And you know, him and his wife about to have a little kahuna.
Yes.
Aren't that sweet, Tori? So listen, the Big Kahuna is one of the great sponsors of the show. He's looking at office in the new Greatness Factory. He's in Monster Producer. He's doing all the things he's got to do to take something incredibly boring and make it interesting. Just call aloha.com. Big Kahuna, we love you.
Yes,
and we love your wife, and we're going to love that little kahuna when it pumps out too, okay? So thank you for being a big sponsor of the show, yes, man. We love you, and we appreciate you. Now, we're talking about today ordinary versus extraordinary, okay? And maybe we didn't live an ordinary, maybe we lived an ordinary life by some people's standards, then at some point we made a jump to an extraordinary life. You know, and that's kind of becoming people of interest. You know, you hear about power couples becoming people of interest. So let's talk about this concept of monster thinking. And what does that mean to you as a wife? I mean, how do you deal with me coming home and saying I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do this, or I'm just kind of all over the place with my visions? I'm like, how do you deal with that?
I mean, we kind of have to sit down and really kind of sort through it all because it is constant. I mean, there's always something, you know, that he's excited about or some big idea. So our thinking is definitely different as far as that goes.
So here's an example. On Sundays, we get up, we go to church together, we come home, we eat as a family. Typically, the ladies take a little relaxation time, and I go into a creative time, and I'm very creative on Sundays. So I go for a bike ride, and I'm out there in the world, and I'm listening to a guy talk about one simple idea, how to license, how to partner. And while I'm thinking about that, that was not on my plan for the day, by the way, to go start working on partnership deals. Well, I go work on partnership deals in my office, which pushes my work time back a little bit. So now I'm working a little bit longer on Sunday than typical because I got to get my normal stuff done. Plus, I got this. This is how monsters think. Their mind is always working. And no matter how much Natalie says, calm down, relax, take it easy on Sunday.
He's not going to.
I'm not going to. So she can either compete with that or cooperate with that.
Right.
Now, she may come out there to the office and say, look, it's time for you to spend time with your daughter. It's time for you to spend time with your family. Okay? But the way a monster thinks is they're triggered. Their mind is triggered by something. And it's like, so I'm listening to this guy, and I'm like, man, I need to be working on a licensing deal because this is a big opportunity. That's the cheetah versus the turtle. That's the monster versus the right now. And from a wife's perspective, talk to all the wives out there who have a husband that gets on a roll on something, and the wife's reining him in. Come on, come inside, come do this. Talk to all of them.
Well,
give them some coaching.
Remember back in one of the shows we talked about you writing that book on the 4th of July and how that was a spur of the moment thing. I mean, it was holiday weekend. We had people coming over. I mean, you know, so I just have to be okay with that. I don't necessarily understand it, but I do have to just let him do his thing sometimes.
So I think the big takeaway there is fluid, man. Be fluid in your thoughts. Don't be rigid in your thoughts. Be fluid in your thoughts, because monsters are going to get on a creative spurt and write a book, or they're going to want to go look at real estate, or they're going to make a spur decision. And what happens is we balance each other out. She brings me back down and I make her stretch and dream.
That's
She
right.
brings me back down and I make her stretch and dream. Now, when we come back in the final segment, we're going to talk about the box. Success does not come in a box with a bow around it. Sometimes I got to get up early. Today I left for Huntsville, Alabama. I got to go tomorrow to Knoxville, Tennessee. I wish everybody would just come to Murfreesboro. We could coach them there. Man, it'd change our life. But that ain't reality.
Right.
Reality is the world is out there moving and it's calling, and we have to take advantage of it. But we also got to have time with our family. We got to have time with each other. We got to have time with the little unit. So when we come back in the final segment, we're going to talk about the box. And maybe it's time that you open up your box just a little bit, or as Melinda Kelly said to me, get a bigger box. You're watching Living with the Monster. I'm Coach Michael, Burt and Natalie Burt. Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach, and man, am I excited to announce my second retreat date, Seaside, Florida, November 16th through the 19th. We have so much demand for going to Seaside, spending time masterminding, going deeper on your business, spending some one-to-one time, really dissecting everything from your explanation of service to your selling system, to your follow-up, to the experience. And I partnered with Scott Nagy, multi-millionaire who sold his business for millions of dollars, to be able to look at every business on business design. So this specific retreat is to go deeper on your business. Masterminds in the morning, right? Lunch together, dinner at the ocean. We're going to have fun and we're going to mix business and pleasure. Seaside, November 16th through the 19th. $2,500 gets you 2 people to go down there with us. I only have 8 rooms to sell. So take advantage, get in a relaxed state, go to Seaside with me. Let's retreat to attack. Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. I got Super Mama over here beside me. We'd love for you guys to come down to Seaside with us and hang out with us November 16th
so excited.
through the 19th. We're actually going next week for a retreat that we've got going on. We got a full house coming to that retreat. Scott Nagy, myself, Natalie. We got a lot of the monster producers that are coming down. I love going to relaxed places. I love masterminding, spending time of the day. Clay Whitaker and his wife Angel are going to be there.
Yes.
Okay, we got a lot of good friends going to be there, spend time with us, mastermind by day, enjoy yourself by night. We're going to do it 2 separate times, and then we're coming back in November. If you'd like to go on that, email us info@coachburt.com and get on there. Come on down there with us, man, and enjoy some Seaside. We combine really mini retirements, vacate, recreation, be rejuvenated. We all need that, right?
We've built some great relationships through trips like this too.
Some of the greatest relationships of our life.
Yes.
I mean, we built relationships with Grant and Elena Cardone. We built relationships with Matt Monero and Rocky. We built relationships with Clay Whitaker and his wife.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be
Brad and Melissa Lee.
Brad and Melissa Lee. It's going to be an amazing experience.
Yes.
So come on down to Seaside with us. Email us info@coachburt.com if you're interested in that. And you saw the big Cardone event. I'm partnered with Grant Cardone. I'll be speaking on Saturday at the 10X Growth Con. 36 speakers. Come out to Mandalay Bay. Enjoy the time. The wives are going to be spending all the money, gambling, and shopping during the day. My daddy's going to be working. Sounds like a normal day, don't it, Jack? Just a normal day in my world. Hey, I'm just kidding with you guys. Today we're talking ordinary, extraordinary. Today, and I want you to finish us out on this concept of the box. It don't have to come in a box. Because talk about the day at church, because that was a big reason that prompted us doing this show. Is go and tell a story.
Well, a couple years ago, I was getting frustrated because of my high C personality that we weren't going to church at the exact same service every week, and back and forth through this conversation, Michael finally looks at me and says, "We do not live an ordinary life. We are not going to be at the same place every week at the same time. We have an extraordinary life. So things are going to be mixed up a little bit. Things are going to look different sometimes, and you're just going to have to be okay with that." And that's probably, for some reason, that one conversation just clicked in my mind of, this is really extraordinary. This is not your day in, day out kind of lifestyle that we have. And I have to be, like you were saying a minute ago, fluid with that.
So, most people have a normal day. They go to work at 8 o'clock, they go home at 5, they take an hour lunch, they watch the same television show, they do the same thing. Here's the deal. At one point you wake up in life and you say, is this all there is to this equation? Right. Surely to goodness we're supposed to be doing something bigger than this, right? And so when I wrote the book Person of Interest, the whole concept was, man, let's be interesting people. Let's go interesting places. Let's do interesting things. Let's hang around other interesting. Let's go to, let's become people of interest that attract people to us, which means it don't always work in a time frame. And that's a big problem for a lot of people, is that the husband and the wife, and I get it, man. It's to live the extraordinary life, success is inconvenient. It ain't going to be convenient. So we may go to the 8:20 service. We may go to the 11 o'clock service. We still going to worship, okay? It's just not at the same time every week. Yeah. So here's the question you wrote down. Why are you so comfortable? And here's the big thing I would challenge you for. Are you letting each other be comfortable?
Yeah, are you pushing each other?
Are you pushing each other, or are you allowing each other to be comfortable? Because I'm a big comfort person. We all are. When it comes to our houses, we want to be in comfortable clothes. We want to do comfortable things. But do you challenge each other? What are your dreams? What are your visions? Where are you going?
And are you having these conversations with each other? Do you even know what those things are with each other?
Yeah, because here's a question I asked a person today in Huntsville. How do you justify not reaching your own potential? Just because you're 40 years old don't mean you finished learning or you finished, right? You become stagnant. Right. And so what I think we need on this concept of living with the monster is we need to be challenging each other. Like I said, she challenges me to be a better dad, a better husband, and I challenge her to be a better businesswoman, to take her business serious, to grow her business. She may not like how I always say it to her. Okay, she may want me to put it in a box when I say it to her. But what I'm trying to do is just say, hey, sweetheart, I see all this potential in you. Okay, I'm just trying to push you. Okay, but every now and then I do look, I ain't paying you $3.99 a month to be coached by you, right? So let's finish up with this one. This concept of losing your swag, because I can't tell you how many husbands and wives at some point do lose their swag. And they do lose their mojo, and they do lose their energy. And it's easy. It's easy when you get up and do the same thing every day just to lose it, to just contract and retreat to a place of complacency. So how would you tell a person to get their swag back if it's a mama?
Well, I would suggest mixing it up a little bit. I mean, these are simple things that we do, but just about a month ago, we were like, let's do something different. Let's have a date during the week, I mean, let's go on some bucket list trips. Like, let's do some different things instead of just the grind all the time. And it really does help you open your eyes. You kind of get out of that monotonous schedule and kind of helps you do that.
Well, we've been jabbing this whole show, but I've been saving the right hook for the end of the show, Jack. See, Natalie thinks I don't plan, but I do. I do plan a lot, by the way. I plan out everything. But here's what I would tell you, and I'm going to throw the right hook here at the end, and it ain't got anything to do with you. It's a challenge to those people out there. One of the biggest things I see is I really see a lot of unpartnered growth as a coach. And I see a lot of potential in the husband or the wife, but the other person is not growing at a trajectory. So what's happening is that other partner is actually prohibiting their growth because they're playing in a very small sandbox. And I'm going, that guy's got a lot of potential, but his wife ain't ever going to let him reach it because she's always pulling him back. She's always holding him. She don't see this. Or it's the wife and the husband don't see it.
Right.
But I see one or the other, and I'm like, man, that guy could be big time, but his wife is too small of a thinker, or vice versa. Don't matter if it's the husband or the wife. One of them's a tiny thinker, and because of that, the other person is actually playing down to the lowest common denominator versus playing up to the highest common denominator. And I can't tell you how many times in Monster Producer or me coaching that I see that over and over and over. And you're sitting there going, but I love my wife, I love my husband. Yeah, I get it, man. But they may need a catalyst in their life. They need to get around people that think bigger. As a husband and wife, you need to get around people that play at bigger levels. You need to get around. You need to constantly be reaching up versus reaching down. You need to get out of comfort, and you need to start exposing yourself. And that's why really I'm encouraging you to come to Las Vegas. Get around Brad and Melissa Lee. Get around Grant and Elena Cardone. Get around me and Natalie, get out there and get your wife exposed.
That's right.
To bigger thinking, or
Yeah.
your husband exposed to bigger thinking. Quit playing in a little bitty sandbox. And we live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small place compared to the world. Okay, I don't want to be famous just in Murfreesboro. I want to be famous on the whole planet. I want to do something on the whole planet. So every day and every way, we're helping each other get better, but we're challenging each other too.
Yeah.
Now, we have got some complaints on the show that I talk too much and she don't get to talk enough. So we're trying to rectify that. You know what I'm saying? I think you got just a few, maybe 2 or 3 girlfriends that are feeding
You
you
think?
feeding you ego on that baby. Guys, every single week we come into your life. Okay, we believe everybody needs a coach in life. We believe that if you're going to live with the monster, you got to understand the mind of a monster. This is going to be
That's
turned
right.
into a book. It's going to be a great book. We've outlined the 12 chapters. It's going to be a great experience. So, guys, we appreciate you. And, Natalie, great job on the show, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Every day you're getting better and better, and I love you more and more.
Oh,
and
sweet.
guess
I love
what?
you too.
And let me tell you this. If you was buying Coach Burt in an Amazon box, it'd be real expensive. We'll see you guys next time on Living with the Monster.
Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt. Man, do I have a deal for you. I've partnered with Grant Cardone, 10X author, mega entrepreneur, and let me tell you everything I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 1 year of Monster Producer, my biggest coaching program, 1 full year. I'm going to give you 2 accountability sessions a week. I'm going to give you 1 full day of Person of Interest, one of my biggest concepts. I'm going to give you 1 great ticket at the 10X Growth Con, Mandalay Bay, February 22nd through the 25th, up to 36 speakers, Grant Cardone, 10X, and we're going to have a private event in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and I'm giving all of that to you for $49.95. Guys, Monster Producer by itself is typically $47.88, so you're going to get one of those 2 free. You're either getting a free year of Monster Producer, or you're getting a free ticket to the 10X Growth Con. Come with me and 50 to 100 other people to Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas and get 1 full year of Monster Producer. To get this deal, email info@coachburt.com and we will get you signed up. Limited time offer, so you better take advantage.